everybody. Welcome back to Tips and Titty Bits. This is the last episode for March. I'm pretty pumped for the topic and the fact that I made it through March with these Tips and Titty Bits segments. I do plan on continuing them for as long as I can, but the first goal was getting through March, all 4 episodes. So here we are. We're on number 4. Like I said, fired up for this topic. It's kind of like a little spring training topic, getting ready for the upcoming summer and spring seasons and outdoor activities that these seasons bring. By no means is this a lose 20 pounds by July or get that bikini bod or get fit quick kind of podcast. I do not subscribe to any of that. I don't preach that. I've been a personal trainer since 2018. And I've also just been into fitness and moving my body for a long time. And those are just things that I don't buy into. For one, I've learned that I don't fit into those boxes. I've tried the Cosmo Girl 17, all that shit, quick exercises, lose your love handles, blah, blah, blah kind of stuff. And it didn't work for me. I'm just in a bigger body. And yeah, there's changes I could make, I'm sure, nutritionally and things that would change my body. But in the long term, are they sustainable? Is that really how I'm going to live my life? Does it matter that much? That's the thing. Does it fucking matter? Look, I'm right there with you. If I woke up tomorrow and I was 40 pounds less, 20 pounds less, 10 pounds less, I would welcome it and be stoked. Because, yeah, there's all the narratives of clothes should fit your body shouldn't fit the clothes kind of thing. But for especially like outdoor apparel, technical apparel, when it's just not made for you and you can't find anything that fits, it's your hips, your thighs, anything like that, you don't feel good, you don't feel comfortable, and you're made to think that you should be smaller. It is just what happens in society. So I completely understand any of you who are like, I want to lose X amount of weight by summer, I want this pair of pants to fit, yada yada yada. I trust me, I hear you, and it is a battle for me every day to not want to fall into those extremes that our generation, millennials, elder millennials, older generations, all that we're kind of just fed constantly. Okay. So, number one, I understand fully, but let's not put any value on the number on the scale. Okay. First things first, I've weighed a lot of different numbers and worn the same size pants. So that's how I know that if I weigh X amount, I'm going to fit into this size pant. That's not how it works all the time. So just know that your body composition can change without that number on the scale changing much. That's why we don't want to put a lot of value on it. If you lose 10 pounds, that doesn't mean you're going to, fit into that pair of pants or whatnot. And also, other way around, if that number didn't change, doesn't mean that you're not going to fit into that pair of pants. So let's not put all our value into that number. Let's try to not say I want to lose 10 pounds. Let's just try to have a different scale of measurement, no pun intended there, and whether that's, just the pants you're in today. How do those feel? How will those feel in a few weeks, in a couple months? Do not use a pair of pants from when you were 25 to be your scale of like, did I reach my goal? Did I lose the weight? Because again, as women, our bodies just flat out change as well. So that pair of jeans from 2010 or whatever, like, just may not ever fit again because of literal physiological changes in your body. Okay, so just get rid of them. Just get rid of them. Get rid of anything you haven't worn in the last year. At least if you just cannot let go of something, at least 2 years. Like, please just forget it. And, obviously in a sustainable way. Thrift store it. Give it to friends. Like, some way. Don't literally just throw it in the garbage. But, I digress. So today I just want to talk about, again, like spring training tips in the terms of getting stronger for your outdoor pursuits. Okay. So again, you don't have to have this big audacious goal of hiking, 14 miles or a 14-day back trip or a huge long bike packing trip. It doesn't have to be anything like that. simply be getting out in the neighborhood, walking around your block, a few blocks, biking around. But again, if you haven't done much in the winter, that might feel like it's far away or something. So first things first, in order to try to keep this as short and quick hitting as possible, we're going to just dive into some tips. One, I will start off by telling you, kind of plugging in myself. Like I said, I'm a personal trainer. I work with clients in person and remotely. So obviously it's a podcast. Many of you might not be in my 5 mile radius to work in person. I also have very limited spots for that. Like I said, I work with people remotely, virtually, and I do offer consultation calls to figure out if working with me is something that fits into your schedule, your routine. It's something you need. I'm here to keep you accountable. I go to the gym, to CrossFit classes for accountability. So I am here to be that accountability buddy for you, to help you show up, to give you a plan that reaches your goals, is specific to what you want. That's what I'm here for. Again, whether it's virtually or in person. I know it doesn't, a lot of people are kind of still on the fence of working virtually or remotely with a personal trainer. Of course, in person is just a totally different energy exchange, and a lot more can happen as far as like actually seeing movement in real time. But look, I got a lot of tools and a lot of ways to work with you remotely so you get the best and most out of it. Okay. So, anyways, sorry, I digress again. Hit me up. First things first, let's take a look at the last 3 months. Break it down, be brutally honest with yourself. What have you done? And also, sometimes write this shit out. It helps you to look back on how much have you truly been moving in the last 3 months. If you can break it down weekly, that's great. Have you been moving once a week, twice a week? Is there any kind of pattern at all? The point here is because then we know what we can kind of jump into. We don't want to jump to the deep end of the pool if you've barely been moving, you haven't been exercising a lot. Don't go ham and go to the gym 3 times a week for an hour and lift the heaviest weights, do the most reps, blah, blah, blah. We're out of the no pain, no gain era. Okay. Looking at all you gals out there who are 25 to 44 and beyond, whatever age really, but like, look, do not look at the person next to you during your workout. Do not try to keep up with them with whatever weight they're doing, pace they're doing, anything like that. Tunnel vision here, my friends. Tunnel vision. Focus on you. The person next to you does not give a flying fuck about what you're doing. Okay? They just don't. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, like, that's a lie because I'm looking at them, well, sister, quit looking at them. Look at yourself. Okay? Most people really don't care what you're doing. They're not judging you. They're focused on themselves. That's just the fact. So focus on yourself. Like I said, tunnel vision, put the blinders on, do what feels right for you. Do not be embarrassed about where you're at. The silliest concept people have about starting to work out or going to the gym is, I have to get in shape to go to the gym. Well, how does that work? You're not going to do it on your own, right? Don't be afraid to show up as you are. Just do it, because this is what you need to do in life, in anything in life. Show up as you are. That's the only way you can grow and get better. And it takes a lot of courage sometimes. I know that, but look, you gotta just get in that mindset of muting out anyone else. So we're looking at what we've done the last 3 months so we can make a plan of attack and how we can get into something without, like I said, being so sore that we can't move the next day. A workout, measuring of a workout, how good it was, is not how much you sweat or how sore you are. Some of us folks are just more hydrated than others. Okay, so we'll sweat more. Some of us are so dehydrated we don't sweat. So if you're barely dripping sweat after a 45-minute like all out Peloton ride or something, doesn't mean that workout was useless. And if you can't walk for 5 days after a workout, doesn't mean that was the best workout of your life, because now you worked out one time that week and now you can't move for 5 more days. Well, like, that's not better than the ability to work out 3 to 5 times that week without being sore, being less sore, right? So get just these mindset shifts for this millennial, for sure, an older generation. It is not the more sore I am or the more I sweated, the better the workout. Just not the case. All right. Okay. Now we've taken a long, hard look at where we've been, how much we've been moving, so we can make the smart choice of how much we start moving. You've moved 0, let's move 1 time a week. Or you've only been moving 1 time a week, then maybe we move 2 times a week for 30 minutes one time, an hour another time. There's so many different variables dependent to you, right? But slow starts, okay? This is a long, hard, slow road that no one wants to take and no one wants to hear. But it is what it is. Instant gratification is certainly a thing, but most of the time it is not sustainable. We don't see long-term effects from it, so it's just not the path we want to take. We got to go down the long, windy, slow, fucking boring road. Okay? So again, we're all on it together, trudging along through it. And like I said, just know you're not alone on this bumpy road. Now that we have kind of figured out how much we want to start moving again, you're going to gauge based on how you feel on how long you're moving for. Is that 30 minutes? Is it 60 minutes? How much are you pushing your body? So something I really have been thinking about doing and want to do and just haven't pulled the trigger on it. It's very, very simple, but it's a workout journal. This is not a new concept. It's been around forever. There's a million brands and things out there. You can type in workout journal on Amazon or something and find one where you can write out all this information. What'd you eat? Blah, blah, blah. But for you, again, dependent on what you're kind of keeping track of. I've had breathing issues for years now, and I'm trying to find some patterns in my life, see if there is any patterns. So for me, particularly, what I would be interested in tracking is before a workout. How much did I sleep last night? And how am I feeling upon like arriving to the gym? How are my joints? Where am I at in my period? Those little notes. Then, did I already say what I ate? If I ate anything. So I'd mark down like if I ate anything before the workout and what it was. Then immediately after the workout, like fill in some details about what that workout was. And what are my immediate kind of feelings about it? Was I sucking wind? Did I have to take a puff of my inhaler during the workout? Did I take some before? Yeah, was I kind of a rating, a 1 to 10, but even whatever is easiest for you, whatever details you want to fill in. And then I would also reflect back on that even maybe later that night or definitely the next day. Like, am I feeling sore? And the next 2 days, really, because for me, it's the second day that I'm the most sore. A delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, is what it can be referred to. So, taking note of that, if you're kind of that person, if that's how you can think about things and understand things, start a little workout journal. As you go on, I mean, you'll learn again what it is that is helping you to keep track of and what's not. So it could be super, super basic, and it can be very, very detailed. But that's just a thought, an idea to maybe start doing as you are building into more activity. Of course, this isn't for everybody. If you're just got a simple goal to move more, you don't need to go into all of this. Okay. It's just a way to keep track if you're interested, right? It's not for everybody. Also, we want to make sure we are easing into the actual workout, not even just like how often we're doing it, but make sure you're warming up before a workout. If you're going to a group class, then generally this should be happening. But if you are, and if you're just going for a walk, then okay, maybe you don't have to. But like I said, if you're going from the couch to anything, simple warm ups like rolling your ankles a little bit, just some knee hugs, some hip circles, literally anything like that. Because the sad truth is that we get hurt in the silliest, most complacent ways sometimes. So simply by just giving yourself 5 minutes of body awareness before movement can help and can make that switch. So think about a little warm up before your activity. And if you're at a trail, don't feel stupid standing at your car moving a little bit. Even like I said, if it is just a little walk, you're not going to go try to run up the mountain. everyone needs different things, okay? It's that tunnel vision again, but we're at the point in life, folks, that injury prevention is key. Let's not get hurt doing some, just little things. So again, now we've got our workout, a warm up. What are our goals? What are your long-term goals? We've talked about this before in some other podcasts, but if you have something specific, then it's much easier to kind of create more of a plan of action. If it's pretty general, then you might be able to go along with not much of a plan and just moving. There are 7 main movement patterns, though, that we all need throughout our life, like should be training often. And it doesn't necessarily mean that in the gym or at your at home workout that you're doing one of these every single day. It's just sometime throughout the week that you're putting some focus on it. And often we're doing these movements anyways if we're just active in anything. So what are the 7 main movement patterns? We've got squat, hinge, lunge, push, pull, carry, and rotate. Like anything, if you look this up, you'll see a lot of different results in there. Some have gait, which is just like walking. But anyways, like I said, a lot of this stuff you're doing throughout the day, especially if you've got little kids or something. You are squatting, you're lifting them, you're hinging, you're bending over. We're carrying bags and bags of groceries in, lunging also while we're just like moving throughout the day. So again, these are the 7 functional movement patterns that you see throughout and most daily movements. So if we spend time in the gym or in a workout working on these, that makes moving our body throughout everyday life more efficient and effective, because the overall goal is to be able to get outside and move our bodies well into our later years in life. So I didn't mention this in the beginning, but I'm all about functional movement. So for the spring training, again, this it doesn't necessarily have to be about these crazy outdoor pursuits. This is just about longevity in your body throughout life, through everyday movement, functional movement. I'll put these in the show notes, these movement patterns, because like I said, um, you're most likely doing a lot of them throughout the day in one way or the other. And it's kind of fun to see how these moves like go into your everyday life. Like, oh, that was a squat there. Oh, I pushed the door closed. I pulled the door open. Because when you think about it, when you're looking at an 80, 90-year-old something, right? Sometimes those folks, like, it literally takes a lot of strength to push open a door, to pull open a drawer, to sit down in a chair, to push yourself up, to bend over, right? So, if we can train these movement patterns throughout our life, that will make it easier at these older, later stages of life to get through everyday tasks. Now, again, no matter what we're doing, if we are training for something specific, we still want to use these movement patterns, whether it's a bike race, uh, climbing, rock climbing, like hiking long distances. All of these movement patterns come into play, and a lot of different exercises you can apply to these activities. We want leg strength in almost anything we do, even when you're a climber. It's not all upper body. You need to be able to have some leg strength to kind of to push off those footholds. When you're a biker, you still want arm strength, especially mountain biking. You need to be able to have shoulder stability, to be able to control those handlebars going through a bumpy trail, core strength for everything we do just to stand upright. Your core is not just that six pack. It is from like your mid thigh up, like your the core of your body is literally, think about the core of an apple, like all like 360, and longer than just that six pack surface area that everyone aims for when they say core workout, right? We're not doing 500 sit-ups to get a strong core. rotation, anti-rotation. Also, planks are full body workouts, my friends. But like I said, a lot of exercises can apply to different activities. Like a workout for mountain bikers can easily just be said to be like a workout for hiking, climbing, and there might be just like tiny little changes, right? So, functional movement patterns, functional movement patterns, making sure we're doing that. And that can just be on your own throughout the day. Few air squats, few lunges, planking. Like this can be really, really simple. Apart from our functional movement patterns and adding some resistance training to those, which means moving weight, we've got cardio. I fucking hate cardio again because of breathing problems I've had, right? I've never been a strong endurance athlete, even though I've played sports that are heavily on the endurance side, soccer and wrestling being my like main two sports. And like I said, very heavy on the endurance need. But it is important to train if you want to go on long rides, long hikes, things like that. Also, like anything else, a ton of ways to do it. Zone 2 training is having a huge moment, and zone 2 training arguably is harder for many people than a higher zone training because it's again that slow, steady training that's boring, keeping your heart rate in zone 2. For many people, that's just walking. Once you get to a certain cardiovascular level, there are people who can run in zone 2. That ain't me. That is not me. I am walking on a slight incline at a okay pace, but again, it's because zone 2 takes a lot of time to build up. But we go back to what are your goals? What are your goals? How much cardio slash conditioning, do you really need for it? But give yourself some time. And this is how we set it up. Okay, main goal is this. Am I spending more time on that like cardio kind of conditioning, or am I spending more time on my strength training? There might not be an even split with them. It might be more of an even split. Either way, I think it's very important that the three things we hit are cardio, conditioning, strength training slash resistance training, and mobility, which I also have been slacking on. Okay. And I don't want this to feel overwhelming for you. This is not like, okay, I need to go run 3 times a week, and then I need to strength train 4 times a week, and then I need to do yoga every day. Like, no, no, no. Bite-sized pieces. And some of this we're getting in one session. You are doing a little cardio push and then a resistance training session and a little stretching after each. Like I said, not every session needs to be an hour long each. 5 minutes here and there can go a long way. Again, for the millionth time, especially depending on your goals. So, hiking, biking, we want to focus on some leg exercises, squats, deadlifts, building our posterior chain. We want our back to be nice and strong so that we can keep that a nice posture with a backpack on, or with biking as we're hinged over slightly. We want a nice flat back if we can. Climbing, we might be working more on our core strength and arm strength, but no matter what, like I said, full body training is super important unless you've got a crazy specific goal where you need biceps like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Then I think overall we want to make sure we're training every part of our body. But again, it doesn't have to be in a specific crazy way of like, oh, there's that muscle and then I trained that muscle, but like our bigger muscle groups for sure. And we can get into accessory work as we get into our more specific goals. So if you're not quite ready to hit the gym and sign up for like group classes, or yoga classes regularly or whatever it is, just start moving a little bit at a time, walking more, riding the bike around the block, calling a friend, right? Why is it that maybe you aren't ready for the gym or a personal trainer? Fear, money, just define why. And if you need an accountability buddy, like reach out to a friend for, again, the simplest things, because that is I think, hardest part for most people is just keeping it on the calendar, getting it done. Look, I'm sitting here right now, not at the gym. um, I also this one took me a while to set up, but it is definitely on my calendar for tomorrow. It was yesterday. Like I said, it doesn't have to be every day. I'll be standing up and working for 7 hours. So I'm moving my body. I'm not sitting all day long. And I still have time to get a little bit of movement in. I've heard this referred to as workout snacks, can be a great way too to just kind of start to ease into it. Every hour, people with Fitbits, right, have alarms or something that go off every whatever amount of time. Like, go for a little walk, go do some air squats, just rotate, stretch, whatever. Whether you have a strong workout routine already, these little workout snacks can still be very beneficial in the days that you get sucked into sitting for work, driving, or whatnot. Said, even if you do an hour workout every day and then you just sit the rest of the day, well, that's still not the best. That 1 hour workout doesn't make up for the entire day sitting, right? And that's something I need to get better at, is just more movement throughout the day. Don't let the 1 hour of movement define the rest of your day. Especially if that means like you're pushed too hard. Look, if you got to work after a workout, you want to be able to think still, you want to be able to move, right? So again, don't let your whole day be defined by that 1 hour. Don't let it wreck you if you don't make it. Don't let it wreck you if you do make it. Obviously, there's times that we do push too hard. I still fall victim to that a lot. No matter what, give yourself some grace, okay? Ease into it, slow road, but spring training, here's our actionable list, is take a look back at what you're doing, number one, or what you have done is number one. What have you done? Be honest with how much you've moved. Number two, make that plan now of adding some movement into your week. Once a week for 30 minutes, twice a week for 30 minutes, once for 60, whatever it is. Make yourself a little plan. Do a little warm up if you need to before those workouts, and those 7 main movement patterns, make sure we're hitting those throughout the week in one way or another. Again, try to imagine throughout the day how you're getting those movement patterns. Are you moving things from one room to the other, picking up that little baby? Like I said, a lot of ways that you can start to see these through your daily life, and that helps me at least feel better. Like, okay, like maybe I didn't go lift this huge amount of weight in the gym, but look how many times I had to like walk up and down the stairs or do something like that, right? Like, again, the little workout snacks that can make you just feel a little bit better mentally there. And find an accountability buddy if you need it. Ask your friend, because like I said, this time of year, a lot of us are just itching to get out and start a new routine. So I'm sure there's somebody out there that you can give a call up to, and they're either going to get out with you or give you that text like, hey, have you gotten out for whatever, your walk today, or 30-minute like yoga, whatever it is. Find an accountability bud if you need to. Overall, the main point here is, do not put all of your value into the number on the scale, and just know that it's a long, slow road, but we're all in it. We're all on that journey, on that process. So don't feel alone in it. And I know it's really, really frustrating, but that's why now is a great time to start. If you do have some of those audacious outdoor goals for June and July, or something for some big hikes, some big bikes or whatnot, like, get going now. Allow yourself the time to ease into it, and then progressively overload those goals, while maintaining, effective and efficient movement. All right, everybody. I hope you got some little nuggets out of that. This one could really be 5 hours. So, like I said, I hope you have some actionable steps to walk away with. Stay tuned for more detailed ones. And of course, like I said, look in the show notes. Hit me up if you want a little consultation. If you need some help with a plan, and want to find out, like I said, if we're a good fit to work together, I'd love to chat with you and hear your goals. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and get out for some movement. We hope you enjoyed this episode and would do us a huge favor, since we don't have any sponsors or anything like that, and would rate and review us on whatever platform it is you use, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, whatever it is. And if you're listening and downloading just through the website, tearingituppodcast.com, leave comments. We'll definitely engage back with you. And on social media right now, we're just on Instagram. Tearing It Up Podcast is the handle. Like the post, share the post, comment on the post, whatever it is you got. Show us your love so we just stay relevant and show up in the rankings at all. So again, rate and review, please. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.